Yeah. What's really happening, man? It's your boy OG Gigaveli with another episode of Street Code of Conduct. Today's episode, I'm gonna be talking about demon time. Demon time. I'm gonna be dealing with the mindset of the generation right now, man. I'm coming at my young people and I'm coming at y'all not in a disrespectful way. I'm coming at y'all in a way to let y'all know that my generation dropped the ball, man. My generation dropped the ball. What we seeing now out of our young generation, man, we're seeing a lot of young cats operating with no moral conscience, man, no God conscience. Everything that they're wearing on their clothing, everything that they're talking about out their mouth, everything that the way that they are moving is all on demon time. All on demon time. You know, and I feel like that's really the fault of, first and foremost, the black man of my generation. Then the black woman of my generation. Why? Because if we could think back, man, I'm talking to my generation so I could deal with the youth so they could see what's happening. So we could try to awaken this spiritual conscience back into them, man. It's still not too late for some of them. It's still not too late for some of them, man. But what it is, man, if I think back often, you know what I mean, the time when I first started going, I went to juvenile, man, and the only thing that they were pushing that cell, only thing that they would allow us to have of reading material was the Bible. And I remember growing up as a kid, my grandma would often make us go to Sunday school, man. I'm talking about it was mandatory. You know, even y'all know the OG a Muslim now, but I wouldn't have had that first introduction to God if it wasn't for my grandparent and also for my mom. Right? I remember like it was a rule in my mama's house, man. You don't touch your food before you say your grace. You don't touch your food before you say your grace. It was a rule in my mama's house that she would come often and open my room door and ask me, has you said your prayers already before you go to close your eyes? And you remember our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give me this day my daily bread. Forgive me not of my sins. Forgive me not of my trespass. No, I might have said it wrong. It's been a long time since I said that prayer. And y'all might could correct me. But we had those prayers. We haven't passed that down to these kids, man. So what we are seeing is a lot of kids that's moving spiritless. I posted recently about a girl beating her 2-month-old baby because the baby daddy didn't want to be involved no more. And she called the baby a thing. What I'm going to do with this thing? That's just an example, man. And it didn't leave me, man. It just let me know that not only our young men are suffering from this, but our young girls are too. So the babies, if this generation scares y'all, whoa, I feel for the kids that they're finna bring in. They might not be human. Because a human has all three components, man. And the only thing we are cultivating these kids with is the spiritual. I mean, not the spiritual, is the physical. And we may be trying to, you know, they learn their own intelligence on themselves because now we're not even much pushing reading on these kids. It's all about the phone. The phone are raising our kids. YouTube are raising our kids. And we're not incorporating the spiritual guidance that they're going to need as they become into an adult. Because there are certain decisions that you're going to have to make in life. And I'm teaching right now, man. That ain't based off your intellect. It's based off, you know what I mean, off your moral compass, you know what I'm saying? Your spiritual conscience. Will God like this or will he not like this before you make this decision? You're failing in a lot of decisions that you're making because you God consciously done nothing else to stop you, nothing else to punch your brake. No fear of God at all. And I'm sitting in front of you, man, to tell you, man, as a real OG, man, knowing God is G, man. Having God in your life is G. Don't let nobody else make you feel that. Because, boy, let me tell you something. I done been some of the hardest places on this planet when it comes to the United States, man. Some of the hardest pens, some of the hardest prisons, all the way from boys' school on up, man. And I knew him all the way through, man. So this maybe, and not just maybe, I give him all the praises, man, for seeing me through some of my darkest moments, some of my ignorance moments, some of my lack of knowledge moments. But one thing I may not have been equipped with some of the intelligent decisions that I should have made. You know, but some of the moral, God-fearing decisions, I never beat a woman, man. I never put my hands on a woman. I never attacked or robbed my elders like that. You know what I mean? I was always a respectful kid, man, regardless of how gangster I was in these streets. You know what I mean? Toward my mom and toward people older than me, man. So they say, man, you know, and it's old sayings that we ignoring, that we haven't passed on to these kids. So they really don't have no feel of it or no understanding of it. Honor our mother and our father, and our days will be long. Just real laws, man, just like gravity, man. Honor our father and honor our mother so that our days will be long. That ain't got nothing to do with demon time. That's a God-fearing advice from the big God. The one that controls your going and your coming. The one that controls the sun and the moon. If you don't have no fear of him, I'm wasting my time, man, with you, man. You can't hear nothing I'm saying. I'm not telling you to fear no man on 2 feet. I'm telling you respect the next man. You know, it's a difference. Showing a man respect and giving a man the respect that a dog deserves is not showing that you fear him, but showing that you understand that he's entitled to that respect. Y'all got it twisted, man. Y'all think toting these guns, man, and being on demon time, you know what I'm saying, gonna give you the respect that you're looking for, man. It's gonna cause you to have an early grave or a hard prison sentence, man. I'm just here to let you know, man. We gotta get off this demon time, man. You know what I mean? OG here to tell you, man, it ain't your fault. Talking to my young guys, man, in these streets, it ain't your fault. Even though I was running the streets doing what I was doing, I had God with me, man. And I thank him for being with me. And I thank my grandparents for being, and my mom, them, for being real parents, man. We're failing. And I'm talking to the parents now, talking to my age group. If you're in charge and you're raising any kind of kid right now, start making them children say their grace before they eat, man. Introduce God into their life. Start teaching them a prayer to say at night. Because at night, that's when the room lights go off. That's when they're in the dark. And they need that prayer to get them to the morning, man. Stop making them think that every morning and every hour, every second is promised to them. This is why they're so arrogant and cocky. This is why they don't value life. They don't fear God. And it's our fault, man. Stop putting the blame on this generation, man. If we don't get a hold of this now, if we don't really start speaking on real content, if we don't really stop getting away from all the gospeling and running behind all the trending topics and really get to dealing with giving these, because our preachers are failing us. You know, I like to think myself of the same cloth of Malcolm X, man. You know, before Malcolm X was Malcolm X, he was Detroit Red. He went the same place that I went to for God to sit him down and teach him. If I had to be the Malcolm X of this era, man, I'd be proudly to be associated with him. You know I got a lot of work, and I know there's some big shoes to fill. And I know Malcolm lost his life for what he believed in. But man, if you don't have a purpose, then you're not living at all, man. This is my purpose, man. I ain't got to opt out here. The OG ain't into it with nobody, man. I ain't into it with no other bloggers. I ain't into it with nobody in the streets. Even the guys that I done had fights with into the past respect me, man. Because I always kept a G. You can check my record, man. While I'm doing that, you know the OG wants you to help me out. You know I want you to support the movement and support the message. But here's my book right here, man. My paperwork to Miami, my paperwork to the streets, man. Pressure. A real OG out of Miami, man. Ain't nobody came forward. And I know y'all been checking to see, man. A lot of people have been telling me y'all been inquiring about me, man. Who's this old guy talking about he's an OG out of Miami, man? Lil Jig, man. Check my name out, man. I'm Pig Son, out the sub. You know what I'm saying? Check my name out, man. Lil Jig, man. I go by Gigaveli. I go by Lil Jig. Some of y'all know me as Gigolo. Man, I been into this thing. Been a 15 ab stepper. Know what I'm saying? Certified. You ain't gonna check nothing out about Jig, man. And he come back, man. When you ask about me around Miami, you ain't gonna check nothing out to come back and say, oh, man, that nigga a rat. Or he done told on this guy. Or he done did that when he was in pen. Ain't none of that gonna come back, man. I'm solid, man. I'm certified to do what I'm doing, man. I'm a real OG, man. You're not gonna find me on the corner trying to be like these young guys and not living the way that I'm talking about, man. Because that's not a real OG. I'm not trying to imitate you young guys, man. I'm trying to help you get to see your gray hair, man, and stop these people prison. That's what my obligation is, man. So some of y'all that don't listen, I advise you to get this book, Federal Pressure. That's a whole nother level when you step into the federal system, man. And you see my subtitle still on paperwork, man. My paperwork 1,000. Hit the link in my bio, man. Go to my link tree, man. Y'all follow me on all platforms, man. Help the message get out there, man. We need to awaken the spirit in this generation, man. Everybody on demon time. Who's on God time, man? You know what I'm saying? This how the OG living, man. Ain't nothing wrong with, you know what I mean, being God-fearing, man. That don't make you weak. That make you smart. This your boy OG Gigaveli. It's been another episode of Street Code of Conduct, man. Y'all get at me, man. All comments, man. Come on, man. Hey, y'all come on in with it, man. Y'all support the movement. This your boy.